Why is the glitter of Las Vegas starting to fade? Once the ultimate playground for dreamers, high rollers, and sunseekers, Sin City is now watching more residents pack their bags than ever before. From skyrocketing housing costs to sweltering summers that test human endurance, the cracks in Vegas's dazzling image are becoming impossible to ignore. But is this the start of a long-term decline, or just another chapter in the city's boom and bust story? Stick around as we count down the 10 biggest reasons people are leaving Las Vegas in 2025 and discover the most shocking deal breaker at number 1. Number 10. The sticker shock of Vegas housing. Think moving to Las Vegas will save you money? Think again. While California transplants might still see Vegas prices as a bargain, locals know the reality. The median home price has soared past $480,000 as of mid-2025, a staggering 300% jump from just over a decade ago. That's not just inflation, that's a full-blown affordability crisis. Here's the math. On a $485,000 home with today's interest rates, your mortgage alone is around $2,870 a month. Add property taxes, insurance, and HOA fees, and you're staring at $3,200 plus monthly. To qualify, you'd need a household income of roughly $115,000, and that's assuming a perfect credit score and a hefty 20% down payment saved up. Renters aren't spared either. More than half of Nevada renters are cost-burdened, spending over 35% of their income just to keep a roof over their heads. Basic two-bedroom apartments that rented for $1,200 3 years ago are now easily hitting $2,000 plus, with bidding wars even in the rental market. And while the state estimates it needs to build 7,000 new apartments every year just to keep up, construction lags far behind, keeping supply tight and prices high. This squeeze forces many working families into tough choices: take on crushing debt, move to less desirable neighborhoods, or leave the city altogether. And for investors, the days of snapping up cheap Vegas real estate for quick flips are over. Competition from deep-pocketed out-of-state buyers, particularly from California, has changed the game entirely. If housing costs are the first red flag, the next reason has nothing to do with money, and everything to do with the environment. In fact, it's making some new residents rethink their move within months. Number 9. Extreme heat that's more than just hot. If you think you know summer heat, Las Vegas will prove you wrong. This isn't just grab a cold drink and hit the pool weather. This is life-altering heat. In 2025, Vegas is seeing more frequent stretches over 115 degrees Fahrenheit, with some neighborhoods feeling even hotter thanks to the urban heat island effect. All that concrete and asphalt traps the sun's energy, turning the city into an oven that never cools down. Newcomers often arrive in March or April, fall in love with the sunny 75 degrees Fahrenheit days, buy a home, and by July they're wondering if they've made a $500,000 mistake. Forget midday walks. The pavement can literally burn your shoes, and it's dangerous for pets. Try walking your dog at 2 p.m. and you risk serious heat stroke, for both of you. It's not just uncomfortable, it's deadly. Las Vegas ranks among the top U.S. cities for heat-related emergencies, rivaled only by Phoenix. The elderly and those with health issues face the greatest risk, but no one is immune. If you work outdoors, construction, landscaping, event setup, the brutal summer months can be physically and financially draining. And then there's the hidden cost: sky-high energy bills. In triple-digit heat, air conditioners don't get a break. For a modest 3-bedroom house, $400 monthly electric bills in summer are normal. Older systems or larger homes, you could see $600, $700 a month just to keep the inside livable. That's an extra $2,000, $3,000 a year, money many newcomers didn't factor into their budgets. Climate change is only making things worse, extending the hot season and pushing peak temperatures higher each year. And when the mercury stays above 100 degrees Fahrenheit well into September, that dry heat cliché stops feeling like a joke and starts feeling like a warning. But the heat is only one piece of Vegas's climate puzzle. The next reason is a slow-moving crisis that could shape the city's future for decades. Number 8. Drought and water worries. For a city built in the middle of the desert, water has always been Las Vegas's Achilles heel. And in 2025, The situation is more precarious than ever. While local officials tout impressive conservation stats, Vegas actually uses less water today than it did 20 years ago, despite adding 500,000 people. The bigger picture is far less reassuring. The city relies heavily on the Colorado River, and its lifeline reservoir, Lake Mead, is sitting near its lowest level since the 1930s. Decades of overuse, combined with hotter, drier conditions from climate change, mean there's simply less water to go around. Entire states are fighting over rights to the river, and while Nevada's allocation is relatively small compared to Arizona or California, any federal cuts hit hard. That tension trickles down, literally, into daily life. Grass lawns are being ripped out and replaced with desert landscaping, ornamental water features are banned, and strict watering schedules are enforced. Think you'll move here and build a lush backyard oasis? Not without jumping through regulatory hoops and paying hefty fines if you break the rules. And while most residents don't notice the impact day to day, the tap still runs. The uncertainty hangs over the city's long-term prospects. Businesses considering large-scale relocation here are weighing whether water scarcity could limit future growth. Homebuyers are asking harder questions. What will this house be worth if water shortages get worse? Could rising water costs drive up utility bills like electricity already has? The real kicker? Many Las Vegas residents feel the sting of conservation while watching massive amounts of the Colorado's water head west to California's agriculture industry, fueling a perception of unfairness that makes the restrictions even more frustrating. For families thinking long-term, especially those with kids, the next reason is even more concerning, and it's pushing many to leave faster than they planned. Number 7. Struggling public schools. For many families, the final straw isn't the heat or the housing prices, it's the schools. In 2025, the Clark County School District, which serves Las Vegas and surrounding communities, is the 5th largest school system in the United States. That sounds impressive until you see the rankings. In a recent national study, the district placed second to last among the 50 largest metro areas for overall quality. The issues run deep. Class sizes are among the largest in the nation, stretching teachers thin and making it harder for students to get individualized attention. Funding per pupil lags behind much of the country, and that gap shows up in fewer resources, outdated materials, and limited extracurricular programs. Since the pandemic, reports of school violence have increased, leaving many parents uneasy about campus safety. Yes, there are bright spots. Some schools in areas like Summerlin and Henderson are excellent, with strong academics and active parent involvement. But these come with a price. Homes in those zones are significantly more expensive, pushing them out of reach for many middle-class families. For those who turn to private education, the financial hit can be staggering. Quality private schools in Las Vegas often run between $15,000 and $25,000 per year per child. For a family with 2 kids, that's $50,000 annually, on top of already high mortgage or rent payments. This creates a painful choice. Pay a premium to live in a better school zone, spend a fortune on private education, or accept the shortcomings of the public system. Many families are deciding it's easier to move to states where good public schools are more accessible and affordable. And while education is a big-ticket factor, there's another category of expenses in Vegas that's blindsiding newcomers: the costs you don't see in the brochures. Number 6. Hidden costs that drain your wallet. Las Vegas sells the dream of low taxes and affordable living, but many newcomers quickly discover a long list of hidden expenses that chip away at their budget. These aren't the obvious bills like rent or mortgage. These are the slow leaks that add up fast. First, your car takes a beating. The relentless heat is brutal on vehicles, shortening the lifespan of tires, batteries, and air conditioning systems. That 80,000-mile tire warranty? In Vegas, you'll be lucky to get 3 years out of them. Intense UV rays fade paint, crack dashboards, and cook interiors unless you invest in high-quality tint and sunshades, another upfront cost. Next, the entertainment factor. Vegas's endless dining, shows, and nightlife are part of its allure, but they're also an easy budget trap. What starts as occasional splurges can quietly morph into $500 to $800 a month in fun money, especially if friends or visiting family want to experience the Strip. Then there's gambling. Not everyone succumbs, but for those prone to temptation, the 24/7 access can become a costly problem. Even casual play adds up when the slot machines are just a short drive away. Utilities are another budget buster. Beyond summer electricity bills, water rates can climb higher than expected, especially if you have a pool or even a modest yard. And if you live in an HOA, monthly fees can run anywhere from $50 to $300, depending on your neighborhood, all for services you may barely use. When you stack these extra costs on top of housing and everyday living, the cheap Las Vegas lifestyle starts looking a lot less affordable. And for some, the financial pinch is compounded by a factor no one wants to deal with: safety concern. Number 5. Crime and safety concerns. Las Vegas's bright lights and buzzing energy can distract from a harder truth. Safety is uneven across the valley. While many neighborhoods are perfectly safe and have active community watch programs, the city overall ranks in the 35th percentile for safety, meaning 65% of U.S. cities are considered safer. Both violent crime and property crime rates are higher than the national average. Certain areas, especially around the tourist corridor, have heavy police presence, but just a few blocks away, you can encounter pockets with higher theft, break-ins, or violent incidents. Locals even have unspoken nicknames for the worst spots, though real estate agents are careful to avoid steering into specifics. An emerging concern for families is the rise in school-related violence since students return from pandemic-era virtual learning. While not every campus is affected, news of fights, weapons on school grounds, and disciplinary issues is enough to push some parents toward relocating. The reality is that safety in Vegas is highly neighborhood-dependent. If you're coming from a small town or a low-crime suburb, adjusting to urban crime risks and the constant need for situational awareness can be jarring. New residents often find themselves investing in home security systems, cameras, and reinforced locks, adding yet another layer of costs and stress. The Las Vegas Metro Police Department is generally responsive and proactive, but policing alone can't change the broader trends. For those seeking a quieter, more predictable sense of security, the city's crime map is enough to prompt an early exit. Yet despite all these challenges, people still move to Vegas every year, and the reasons why reveal a complex love-hate relationship with the city. Number 4. A transient, hard-to-root community. One of the things newcomers quickly notice about Las Vegas is how temporary it can feel. This isn't just a tourist town, it's a transplant town. People come for jobs, the lifestyle, or a fresh start, but many don't stick around for long. In fact, studies suggest that 1 in 3 new residents leave within their first year. This constant churn makes it harder to build deep, lasting relationships. You might meet neighbors, coworkers, or friends at the gym, only to find they've moved back to their home state or onto a new city a few months later. Social circles can feel like revolving doors, and for those not into the party scene, finding your people can take time and effort. Part of the challenge is the city's work culture. Many jobs are tied to tourism, hospitality, and shift work, meaning schedules don't align with the traditional 9 to 5. It's not unusual for your closest friends to be off work when you're clocking in, making spontaneous get-togethers harder to plan. For families, this transient vibe can affect kids too. Changing classmates, rotating teachers, and fluctuating extracurricular programs can make it difficult for children to form consistent friendships. For adults seeking a sense of belonging or a stable community identity, the constant turnover can leave them feeling adrift. While some thrive in Vegas's meet new people every week energy, others find the lack of stability exhausting. And when it comes to planning for the long haul, the next reason on our list is pushing many to reconsider whether Las Vegas fits into their future at all. Number 3. Job market volatility. Las Vegas's economy is a high-wire act, and in 2025, many residents are realizing just how shaky that wire can be. While the city has made strides to diversify beyond tourism and gaming, hospitality still dominates. That means when visitor numbers dip, whether from economic slowdowns, rising travel costs, or global events, the ripple effect hits hard. In recent years, sectors like logistics, healthcare, and even tech have grown here. Companies like Amazon, Tesla, and Google have set up operations, offering new opportunities. But these industries are still dwarfed by the massive influence of casinos, hotels, and entertainment venues. And when those industries cut back, layoffs can be swift and widespread. The job market also tends to be highly competitive for the most desirable positions, with many roles offering limited upward mobility. Service jobs can pay well in tips during boom times, but they can be unpredictable. A slow tourist season or changes in consumer spending can slash income overnight. For workers relying on overtime or peak season hours to make ends meet, this uncertainty is a constant stressor. And while Nevada's lack of state income tax is a huge draw, it can be offset by the high costs of housing, utilities, and insurance, especially if your income fluctuates. For professionals seeking a more stable career trajectory or families who can't risk income swings, the job market's unpredictability is a deal breaker. For many, the answer is to move somewhere with a steadier employment base, even if it means giving up Vegas's tax perks. And that decision becomes even easier when they realize what's happening in the real estate market itself. Number 2. A real estate market that's losing its shine. Las Vegas's housing market has been a roller coaster for decades, but in 2025, many are starting to feel like the ride might be heading downhill. After years of surging prices fueled by out-of-state buyers and investor activity, cracks are beginning to show. Median home values that jumped by 300% in just over a decade have priced out most local buyers. Remember, only about 1/3 of southern Nevada households could afford to buy at today's prices. But now, some of those sky-high valuations are softening, especially in investor-heavy neighborhoods. Bidding wars that once drove prices $50,000 over asking are becoming rarer, and price cuts are quietly appearing in listings. For homeowners who bought at the peak, this is unsettling. If values dip, they risk being house poor, stuck with a big mortgage, high taxes, and rising insurance, while their equity shrinks. Investors who once flipped properties for quick profits are facing longer time on market and tighter margins, prompting some to exit entirely. Renters are feeling the squeeze too. Even though demand is high, landlords are competing for tenants in certain pockets, leading to short-term incentives, but rents remain far higher than they were just a few years ago. Add in rising interest rates, and it's clear why some would-be buyers are stepping back. For families and individuals looking for long-term stability, the combination of high costs and market uncertainty is pushing them to sell while they can, then relocate to more affordable, predictable markets. And that brings us to the biggest reason people are leaving Las Vegas in 2025, one that ties together the city's challenges in economy, climate, and cost of living. Number 1. The lifestyle trade-off no one talks about. At first glance, Las Vegas sells an unbeatable dream. No state income tax, endless entertainment, sunny skies, and housing that, compared to California, still looks affordable. But beneath that glossy image is a lifestyle trade-off that's driving thousands to leave. The balance between what you gain and what you give up. For some, the gain isn't enough. You get warm winters, yes, but also blistering summers that keep you indoors for months. You have a world-class entertainment scene, but it's geared toward tourists, not everyday residents. You save on income taxes, but watch those savings evaporate through higher utility bills, HOA fees, insurance premiums, and a cost of living that's climbing faster than wages. Add in the transient nature of the community, the unpredictable job market, water scarcity concerns, and an education system that struggles to keep pace, and the picture changes. The Vegas lifestyle can feel isolating if you're not into nightlife, frustrating if you're raising a family, and risky if you're planning for long-term stability. The truth is, Las Vegas is incredible for the right kind of resident: young professionals without kids, retirees who can handle the heat, or high earners who can insulate themselves from the city's challenges. But for others, especially middle-class families and those seeking a grounded community, the trade-offs are too steep. That's why so many are making the same calculation. If they can find a place with more stability, better schools, lower hidden costs, and a slower pace, they'll take it, even if it means giving up the neon glow. So there you have it, the 10 biggest reasons people are packing up and leaving Las Vegas in 2025. From the blistering summers to the budget-busting housing market, Sin City's sparkle comes with a price tag, and for many, it's just too high. But here's the thing, Las Vegas isn't dying, it's evolving. And for the right person, it's still a place where you can live big, dream bigger, and never run out of things to do. Now I want to hear from you. Would you take the gamble on living in Las Vegas or cash out while you can? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you learned something new, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into America's best and worst places to live.